1984 in East Germany, a company by the name of Leviathan Corporation rules the country with an iron fist. With mass surveillance, social class rules, and mind-altering drugs, Leviathan has its hold on the city, promising the vision of utopia if only its citizens serve. Karma the Dark World is a first-person psychological thriller set in a dystopian world that has a beautifully dark and eerie feel. With dark twists around every corner and a twisted creature lurking in every mind, you must explore the minds of suspects while trying to separate truth from deception. Today we're going to be breaking down the game and giving you everything you need to know before you buy it. This is something we do regularly here at the Indie Brew, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like more indie game content. And without further ado, let's jump into the dystopian landscape of Karma the Dark World. Karma sees you play as Daniel McGovern, an employee for the Leviathan Corporation. Having the position of roam agent, you are tasked with diving into suspects' subconscious and reviewing memories in search for evidence of a crime or insubordination. But after a seemingly simple brief, you dive into the mind of a suspected traitor and find a much larger situation beginning to unfold. It is up to you now to dig deeper than you ever have before, blurring the lines between reality and that which you see in the brain dive, as you try to figure out who is at the heart of this situation and why the suspect mentions your name directly. Karma's story is dark, twisted, and fantastic. It starts hard and fast with the intrigue and does not slow down pretty much the entire game. With so many avenues of storytelling like the infomercials of Leviathan, the letters and documents that are sort of spread all over the levels, the conversations of the citizens that are around you while you're walking past, and the images and sounds heard while traversing through the story, it really helps build a picture of the world super quickly. I found I was easily immersed within this world, and I wanted to know more and more with every little piece of information I got given. Now, the main story progression comes in the form of the brain dives. Whilst investigating key events connected to the crimes, you'll learn a lot about each character in the game, whilst also learning a lot about your character, Daniel, and his past as well. The dives are connected to an overarching story, but paint a good picture of past events that lead up to the current situation. These dives get deep and personal and really play on the psychological aspect of the game, hitting certain nerves and feelings consistently to add to the overall uneasiness of the game. With every mission that passes in Karma, the tension is paced so well, almost pushing you to continue. It's not to the point where the entire game is one big tense boiling pot, but it definitely knows the perfect time to amp it up or to back it off and give you some breathing room. As with most psychological thrillers, the twists and the mysteries are one of the most important aspects of the story. With little hints here and there to the overall story arc, there are plenty of moments where you will be questioning everything and understanding nothing. But it does pay off, and it is well worth the wait. I would recommend reading and viewing everything, as there are so many little details spread around the world that give so much insight to specific things. Even just the world building of the game is worthy of research itself. And although I'm still looking into it, the game seems to have a separate website with an alternate reality style game or ARG feel to it, so there is plenty to explore. Now, as I mentioned before, Karma is a first-person psychological thriller and has plenty of aspects to the gameplay. I'd say there's three main elements to the gameplay overall, and I felt like these were done very well. Definitely added to the story in quite an amazing way. Firstly, we have the exploration, and I don't just mean the exploration of the map itself, but overall character and story exploration as well. So you control Daniel directly as he moves around the world investigating the situations, but you'll also accompany him as he takes a back seat in someone's mind as you control the character under suspicion. It's like some sort of twisted dream inception. Whilst walking around, you'll be able to interact with the screens, letters, personal files, and much more, slowly unraveling the story behind almost everything. Next, we have the puzzles and the mazes. Both occur in the outside world and within the memory world as well, but that's where these two differ pretty heavily. Within the memory, things are a little distorted and logic doesn't always ring true, so you will need to pay attention to the things around you to solve the puzzles or navigate the mazes to get to the next objective. I felt like these were well done, hard enough that I really had to think about and explore the surroundings, but not too hard that I had to look up a guide for the puzzle. The puzzles in the real world are more logical and code-breaking style puzzles, but once again, these just require a little digging and perception and weren't overly difficult. Finally, we have what you would consider to be the combat element within the game. Now, I'm trying my best not to spoil anything, so forgive me if I'm being really vague, but I just don't want to spoil it. Or within each dive, there will be some kind of end element or something you need to do to finish the dive. It may be a confrontation with a family member or facing up to a disturbed and twisted memory monster, but each will have a specific condition or action that needs to be observed to defeat it. These moments are often intense and will once again require you to look and listen to your surroundings in order to complete it, but they were really enjoyable. I really enjoyed these moments within the game. They were intense, brutal sometimes, and was a lot of fun. Overall, Karma the Dark World did a great job at immersing me into this dystopian world and story. And once I started playing, I struggled to rip myself away from it and ended up finishing it in one sitting, actually. For those who love a good thriller story, it's easy to get swept away into the world. Creating your own thoughts on who did it or who was at the center of what and who you can and can't trust. Even just watching the things happening in the background paints enough of an interesting story that enticed me to keep going. And I know I've said it a few times throughout the video, but please make sure you check out everything. There is so many little things spread throughout the world of this game that you can explore, and it does such a good job at really creating an intense atmosphere. I love my playthrough of Karma, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I'd honestly love to know much more about the world that it is set in. Dystopian futures are one of my favorite settings for video games and stories, so when someone does one right, I just love it. With great gameplay, fantastic graphics, the graphics are amazing, and such a good story. I kind of wish that I could experience again for the first time, to be honest. But I'll just sit back and see if Pollard Studios brings out more to this story or creates something new. Karma the Dark World is out now on PC and PS5 and runs for around 6 to 8 hours, costing $30.95 AUD for the PS5 and around about the same, $30.43 for the PC. I'd like to thank Wired Productions for sending us out a code for Karma. It was such a great experience. I really do appreciate it. And that is my first thoughts on Karma the Dark World and everything you need to know before buying it. We'd love to know what you think about this game, if you've played it or you're looking to pick it up. So let us know in the comments below. If you're looking for more indie game recommendations, click right here. And until next time, stay caffeinated.